to put the work in mentally and physically, and to be back on a world stage competing at an Olympic Games meant everything to me.
Have you ever watched Simone Biles, not just flying through the air, flipping and twisting in ways that seem to defy physics, but standing her ground, commanding respect and refusing to stay silent in the face of ignorance or disrespect? Most of us know Simone as the unstoppable force on the mat, the woman who made history again and again with gold medals hanging from her neck like they were routine. But what fewer people realize is that Simone Biles is more than just a gymnastics legend. She's also a woman who speaks up, boldly and gracefully, when faced with derogatory remarks about herself, her partner, her teammates, or the Black community as a whole. She doesn't stoop to insults. She doesn't clap back with anger. Instead, she responds with poise, power, and undeniable intelligence, proving that strength isn't just about what you do with your body, but also how you carry yourself in moments of adversity. In this episode, we're diving into the moments when Simone Biles didn't just win medals, she won hearts, minds, and respect. Moments where she showed that being the boss goes far beyond the arena. Let's start with one of the most talked about and revealing moments in recent gymnastics history. During the 2024 Paris Olympics, tensions flared between Simone Biles and fellow American gymnast MyKayla Skinner. But this clash didn't start in Paris. The roots of their strained relationship go back to Tokyo 2021, when both were representing Team USA. At the time, Simone was already a household name, hailed as the greatest gymnast of all time. MyKayla Skinner, on the other hand, had always been close to the top, but not quite in that elite tier. Things shifted dramatically when Simone withdrew from several events in Tokyo, citing mental health, a move that sparked global conversations around athlete well-being. With Biles out of the competition, Skinner had her chance to shine, and she did, earning the silver medal on vault. But behind the celebration, something deeper was brewing. A narrative began to circulate. Skinner could only claim the spotlight when Simone wasn't around. It created a subtle but powerful tension, one fueled by public perception, media spin, and likely some unspoken competitiveness. Fast forward to Paris 2024, and that tension spilled into public view. In a now deleted YouTube video, MyKayla made a series of comments critiquing the current state of US gymnastics. The kicker? She excluded Simone from her praise, something fans immediately picked up on. Many saw it as a veiled dig, perhaps even an intentional slight. And how did Simone respond? Not with pettiness, not with drama. Instead, she handled it in a way that showed class and maturity. She didn't directly fire back, she let her performance speak volumes. And when she did address the situation, it was clear, smart, and dignified. Simone's message: you can rise above negativity and still stand your ground. This is just the first of several instances when Simone Biles didn't just win medals, she won hearts, minds, and respect. So, stay tuned as we explore more of these powerful moments in this episode. From standing up against racism to supporting her teammates, Simone has never shied away from using her platform to uplift, correct, and inspire.
Because when you're Simone Biles, being the best isn't just about flips and landings. It's about knowing your worth, speaking your truth, and refusing to shrink for anyone. In a now famous video, MyKayla Skinner stirred the pot by claiming that the current US gymnastics team just didn't have the same talent or work ethic as teams from the past. She said, but besides Simone, and with that line, she basically implied that Simone Biles was the only one still carrying the torch. That comment didn't sit well with a lot of people. It quickly ignited a firestorm, not just among fellow gymnasts on the team, but also with fans and commentators across the country. Many saw Skinner's words as an unfair jab, something that dismissed the incredible dedication and relentless grind her former teammates were still putting in. After all, gymnastics is one of the most grueling sports out there, demanding insane amounts of discipline and sacrifice. To suggest that the team's work ethic had slipped felt like a slap in the face to those still grinding every day. Simone Biles, known not just for her jaw-dropping flips, but also for speaking her mind when it counts, wasn't about to let those remarks slide. After Team USA clinched the gold medal at the Paris Olympics, Simone took to Instagram with a post that caught everyone's attention. Her caption? "Lack of talent, lazy, Olympic champions." It was short, sharp, and packed with meaning. a clever but clear response to Skinner's earlier dig. Simone's message was loud and clear. She saw the criticism, and she wasn't letting it go unanswered. But she wasn't going to stoop to petty back and forths either. Instead, she let her success do the talking, celebrating her team's hard-earned victory with quiet confidence. But the drama didn't stop there. Skinner soon tried to clarify her comments, insisting she never meant to disrespect or offend the current team. She said her words were taken out of context, hoping to cool the fire. However, the damage was done, and the tension between her and Simone only seemed to grow thicker. Things escalated further when Skinner blocked Simone on social media, an action that set off even more speculation and gossip about a rift between the two gymnasts. But rather than letting the drama get to them, Simone and some of her teammates, including Jordan Chiles and Sunisa Lee, flipped the narrative on its head. They adopted a fierce nickname for themselves, FOW. Fuck around and find out. This wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a battle cry, a warning to anyone who doubted or disrespected them. It was their way of saying, keep talking, keep doubting, but watch what happens when we show up and perform.
The rivalry grabbed huge attention within the gymnastics community. Fans, commentators, and fellow athletes weighed in, mostly backing Simone. Former Olympian Ali Raisman praised the team's resilience in a press conference, emphasizing how they used the tension as fuel to push harder. Gymnast and commentator Kathy Johnson-Clark called Skinner's comments unnecessary and divisive, pointing out how important it is for teammates to support each other. Even MyKayla Maroney, another former Olympic teammate, applauded Simone for handling the situation with grace and maturity, highlighting how she rose above the negativity without stooping to insults. This feud wasn't just about two athletes clashing. It highlighted deeper issues around respect, teamwork, and the pressure that comes with being at the very top of a sport as demanding as gymnastics. And through it all, Simone Biles proved once again why she's not just a champion on the mat, but a leader and a voice for her team and her community. Despite MyKayla Skinner's attempts to smooth things over, the tension between her and Simone Biles didn't just fade away. It created a clear divide that neither could ignore. Skinner faced a wave of criticism for her remarks, with many people feeling she crossed the line by downplaying the hard work and incredible achievements of the current U.S. gymnastics team. Meanwhile, Simone kept her focus where it mattered most, on her own performance and the unwavering support she showed her teammates. But this wasn't just a personal feud between two athletes, it exposed something much bigger beneath the surface. The drama laid bare the intense pressure gymnasts face every single day, from grueling training schedules to the never-ending spotlight of public scrutiny. Fans expect perfection, and the toll that takes on these athletes is enormous. The Biles-Skinner fallout became a reflection of those broader challenges, reminding us how complicated and demanding the world of elite gymnastics truly is. And through it all, Simone Biles proved once again why she's not just a champion on the mat, but a leader and a voice for her team and her community.
Number 2. Simone Biles speaks out loud and clear against racism. In 2024, an incident during a gymnastics awards ceremony in Dublin, Ireland, shook the sports world and brought the ugly issue of racism front and center. At the event, a group of young gymnasts lined up to receive their medals. But shockingly, the only black gymnast in the group was deliberately skipped over during the medal presentation. She stood there, empty-handed, while every other gymnast receives their honor. The moment was captured on video and quickly spread across social media. Millions watched in disbelief and anger as the young girl's face reflected heartbreak and confusion. This wasn't just a mistake. It was a painful, clear act of racial exclusion that no one could ignore. Simone Biles, who is widely celebrated as the greatest gymnast in history, was deeply moved and disturbed when she learned what had happened. Known for being vocal about important issues like mental health, racial justice, and equality, she knew she couldn't stay silent. After hearing about the incident from the young gymnast's parents, Simone acted quickly. She publicly condemned the act of racism, sharing her heartbreak and frustration. She made it crystal clear: racism has no place, not in sports, not in society, nowhere. But Simone didn't stop at words. She sent a personal video message to the young gymnast, a gesture full of encouragement and solidarity. In that message, she reassured the girl that she was not alone and that the entire gymnastics community stood with her, ready to support and uplift her. This moment showed another side of Simone Biles, the side that uses her voice to fight for justice, to stand up for the vulnerable, and to inspire change far beyond the gymnastics floor. Simone Biles' kindness and support for that young gymnast didn't go unnoticed. She was quickly hailed as the gymnast's internet big sister by fans all over. People praised her for stepping up with compassion and heart when it mattered most. But before we dive deeper into more powerful moments from Simone, let me ask you, are you enjoying this video so far? If you are, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Alright, now let's keep going.
Number 3. When Simone defended her husband like nobody else could. In August 2024, Simone Biles found herself caught in the middle of a social media firestorm. And this time, it wasn't about gymnastics. It was about her personal life, specifically when she stood up for her husband, NFL player Jonathan Owens. The controversy started after Owens appeared on the Pivot podcast, where he was asked about how he and Simone first met. His answer was honest and funny, but it unexpectedly sparked a big backlash. Owens explained that they connected on the celebrity dating app Raya. He admitted that at first, he didn't even know who Simone Biles was. With her huge social media following, Owens thought the account messaging him might be a prank or fake. He said, "She messaged me on the app, and I was like, this has to be fake. I didn't know who she was at the time, but I saw she had a lot of followers, so I figured she must be someone important." Sounds innocent enough, right? But once those comments hit social media, things blew up quickly. Some people took Owens' words the wrong way, accusing him of disrespecting Simone by not recognizing her right away. Others even went as far as questioning their entire relationship, suggesting Simone should rethink being with someone who didn't immediately know her legendary status. The criticism got loud fast, with users speculating wildly and casting doubt on Owens' respect for Simone. It became one of those trending topics you couldn't escape. Discussions about love, respect, and public perception flooded every platform. But Simone? She didn't let the negativity slide. Known for her strength and resilience, both in and out of the gym, Simone addressed the situation head-on in an interview. She clarified that she was right there when Owens made those comments, and honestly, she hadn't thought anything was wrong at the time. What hurt her more than Owens' words was how harshly the public reacted, how quickly they turned a lighthearted story into a controversy. Simone's response reminded everyone that relationships aren't for the internet to judge, and sometimes the real story lies beneath the surface. Simone Biles stepped up to clear the air, making it very clear that Jonathan Owens never meant to downplay her importance or achievements. He was just telling the funny, honest story of how their relationship got started. No hidden shade intended. Simone emphasized that Jonathan has always treated her with nothing but love and respect, and she was frustrated by how quickly social media twisted his words. She explained that when Owens said he didn't know who she was at first, it was just a genuine moment of surprise, not a slight or disrespect. In fact, Simone admired how Owens was confident enough to be upfront about that, and she respected him deeply for it. As she opened up, her emotions showed how painful the whole public backlash had been for her. The criticism hit hard, especially since Simone has been open about her past battles with mental health. But instead of breaking her down, the whole ordeal actually made their bond stronger. She said, "He never said I wasn't a catch. He said he was a catch, because he is. I've never met a man like him." Once Simone publicly stood up for her husband, a lot of people began to rethink their initial judgments. Fans and commentators started to understand the bigger picture, the real dynamics of their relationship, and the context behind Owens' comments. This controversy shined a light on the intense and sometimes unfair scrutiny public figures, especially women of color, face in their private lives. Simone's honest and heartfelt response struck a chord with many, sparking an outpouring of support for the couple. Owens, who was originally under fire, began to be seen in a new light, as a devoted, loving partner who truly cares about Simone and their life together. That devotion became even clearer when it was revealed that Owens had actually negotiated with his NFL team to take time off from training just so he could be there to support Simone during the Olympics. That powerful gesture showed just how deep their connection runs and the lengths he's willing to go for her.
Number 4. When Simone Biles took on hair criticism and won. Simone Biles isn't just the most decorated gymnast in history, she's also faced plenty of challenges outside the gym, especially in the public eye. But one of the most personal and frustrating battles she's had to fight? Criticism of her hair. That's right. Despite all her incredible accomplishments, some people chose to focus on something as superficial as how she wears her hair. Sadly, this kind of criticism isn't new for Simone. Over the years, trolls and social media users have taken shots at the texture, style, and overall look of her hair. And here's the thing, these attacks aren't just random. They're rooted in long-standing racist stereotypes about black women's hair, an issue that goes way beyond Simone. It's a broader reflection of the unfair standards many black women are forced to navigate every single day. In 2024, this ugly side of social media reared its head again. That year, Simone was honored as the first ever honorary Texans cheerleader, a big deal and a proud moment for her. Naturally, she shared a photo from the event on Instagram, beaming with happiness and pride. But instead of celebrating, some users chose to zero in on her hair, making rude, ignorant comments. One especially harsh remark read, "Baby, your hair. You need some black friends." Can you believe that? Instead of congratulating her, they attacked a deeply personal part of her identity. Simone, known for being open and unafraid to call out injustice, didn't let the insults slide. She took to Twitter, now called X, and fired back with a simple yet powerful question. "I have one question for everyone commenting on my hair when I genuinely look happy in this photo. Do you look perfect all the time? Is everything always in perfect order?" Her response wasn't just a clever comeback, it was a bold statement calling out the unrealistic, unfair expectations society puts on women, especially black women, about how they should look. Simone made it crystal clear. Her joy, her achievements, and her self-worth are what matter, not conforming to someone else's superficial beauty standards. After her response went viral, Simone was flooded with love and support. Fans and advocates applauded her courage for standing up against negativity and sparking a conversation about the pressures women of color face. This moment reminded everyone that behind the headlines and the medals, there's a real person dealing with real issues, and that those issues deserve attention and respect. This wasn't the first time Simone had to confront hair criticism. Even at her wedding to NFL star Jonathan Owens, which took place in a Houston courthouse, she faced similar ignorant remarks. Yet each time she handles it with grace and strength, turning negativity into a platform for education and empowerment. Even back then, when trolls attacked her hair, Simone Biles didn't just brush it off, she hit back with facts and a dose of reality. She explained how tough it is to keep hair looking perfect in the sticky, humid Houston weather. More importantly, she made it clear that she simply didn't care about those petty critiques. That kind of response takes serious intelligence and confidence. Simone has always been vocal about what matters to her, using her spotlight not just to win medals, but to challenge outdated societal norms and inspire others to break free from unrealistic standards. What really sets Simone apart is her courage to confront these issues head-on, refusing to be silenced or diminished by shallow, surface-level judgments. It's why she's more than just a gymnastics legend. She's a role model who shows what it means to stand strong both on and off the mat. Unfortunately, Simone's not the only black gymnast who's had to deal with this kind of scrutiny. Gymnasts like Gabby Douglas have faced similar hair shaming, especially in a sport where sweat and physical exertion are part of the game. The focus on black women's hair, often in ways that ignore the realities of athletic performance, is a persistent problem in sports and society at large. Simone's powerful responses remind us where the real attention should be, on athletes' hard work, talent, and achievements, not on how they wear their hair. By standing up for herself time and time again, she continues to tear down barriers and push back against the status quo. Simone Biles isn't just a champion in gymnastics, she's a fierce advocate for self-love, equality, and acceptance. Number 5.
Taking a stand. Simone Biles testifies against Larry Nassar. Simone's courage isn't just about handling criticism, it's about fighting for justice when it matters most. One of the most defining, brave moments in her life was when she stepped forward to testify against Larry Nassar, the former USA Gymnastics team doctor convicted of sexually abusing more than 150 female athletes, including Simone herself. Her testimony was a pivotal part of exposing how deep and systemic the failures were that allowed Nassar's horrific abuse to continue unchecked for years. Nassar's crimes rank among the darkest in sports history. For decades, he exploited his position of trust, disguising abuse as medical treatment. And despite numerous complaints from survivors and plenty of evidence, major institutions like USA Gymnastics, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and even the FBI repeatedly failed to protect these young women. Simone's decision to speak out publicly was not only a personal act of strength, but a historic stand that helped bring long overdue attention and accountability to a broken system. Her bravery has inspired countless survivors and brought critical conversations about athlete safety and institutional responsibility to the forefront. The shocking truth is that a massive failure at every level allowed Larry Nassar to keep abusing young athletes for far too long. For Simone Biles, being one of his victims meant not just dealing with the unimaginable trauma of his actions, but also the deep sense of betrayal by the very organizations that were supposed to keep her safe. She was supposed to be protected, but instead, she was let down by the institutions that failed to act. Even while carrying this heavy emotional weight, Simone kept pushing forward, dominating the gymnastics world and becoming a symbol of incredible strength, courage, and resilience. But make no mistake, the pain from the abuse, layered on top of the systemic failures that let it happen, weighed heavily on her spirit. In September 2023, Simone stood alongside other survivors like Ali Raisman, MyKayla Maroney, and Maggie Nichols to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. They bravely shared their stories of abuse and exposed the heartbreaking breakdown of the institutions responsible for protecting them. Simone's testimony struck a particularly powerful chord. Not only did she open up about her personal experience, but she also made it crystal clear that the problem went far beyond Larry Nassar alone. She started with a statement that was equal parts raw and courageous. "I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse." She didn't hold back her frustration and anger at the organizations that prioritized their own reputation over the safety and well-being of athletes. Simone made it clear, Nassar wasn't the only one to blame. The system that allowed him to operate unchecked is just as guilty.
Simone Biles spoke with raw honesty about the emotional and mental toll the abuse took on her. She described days when the weight of the world felt like it was crushing her, moments of deep pain and betrayal that so many survivors can relate to, especially those who were ignored, dismissed, or silenced by those in power. Her words didn't just condemn Larry Nassar, they called out the total failure and disrespect shown by the organizations that should have protected her and others. She was crystal clear. Survivors deserved way better than the half-hearted, inadequate responses they got from USA Gymnastics, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and even the FBI. Simone insisted that everyone who allowed this abuse to continue must be held just as accountable as Nassar himself. The courage she showed in speaking out, despite the deep personal pain it reopened, earned widespread praise and respect. By standing up and confronting these powerful institutions head-on, Simone created a pivotal moment in the ongoing fight for justice for abuse survivors. She refused to be silenced or broken by what she went through. Instead, she used her platform and voice to demand real change and accountability. The impact of her testimony was huge. It shone a spotlight on the urgent need to reform USA Gymnastics and other sports governing bodies to prevent these horrors from happening again. Her words rallied public support for survivors everywhere and forced those institutions to finally face the consequences of their negligence. isn't it clear that Simone Biles isn't just one of the greatest gymnasts of all time? She's also a force to be reckoned with when it comes to standing her ground and shutting down disrespect. What do you think? Should other athletes take a page out of her book? Drop your thoughts below in the comments about Simone Biles being the boss and handling things on and off the mat. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Stay tuned.